You have a chair? Yeah. Okay, good. So we will get started. Welcome everyone, and also welcome to the people online as well. My name is Tom Barnhart, and I'll explain a bit more. I'll introduce myself and others a bit more later, but I want to start first of all with Oliver, who will give a bit of introduction to his Chamber of Commerce and himself and where we are. Please, a couple of words about it. It's so interesting place.
Okay, thanks, Tom. Shimon, big day. Hello, everybody online and also here. My name is Oliver Bertschinger. I'm the Managing Director of the Chamber of Commerce, Switzerland, Central Eastern Europe, which basically consists of the Baltics, the Visegrad countries, Romania, the West Balkan countries, and we have the pleasure of having Italens and Shimon as member, and we've also been supporting this event in the background, and we are here to celebrate the launch of this Nearshoring guide. It's coming right out of the press, and I'm really curious to read it. And you know, in principle, our Chamber of Commerce is 24 years old. We have the ambition to really improve the relationship between Switzerland and the 17 countries of Central Eastern Europe. We do this in 3 areas, and that's a big change. I took over 2 years ago. And the change is we are not only looking at the economy, but we also look at science, training, as well as the society. And why society? Because we have 1 million people that, you know, from those 17 countries, from the diaspora, they have a passport, they have dual passports, they have no passport, but their parents were from Czechia, living in Switzerland. So when you go outside afterwards to enjoy this beautiful weather, every 12th person we see here in Zurich has actually a background in Central Eastern Europe. And so I felt, you know, all those people still have very strong ties to their home countries, and that's why I felt we as an organization, we're called Chambers of Commerce, but we really did be a mediator of, you know, good relationships in various areas between those countries. And in this regard, I was also asked to say something about this place. This is a wonderful place here. It's called the Guildhall. It's Guildhall zur Waage, and the reason I have to talk about this is because my family actually is a member here. And it's not me, it's actually my cousin. It used to be my grandfather who was walking these halls, and then it was his son, and then it was his son, which is my cousin. And anyway, these guilds were the testimony to a long tradition that we also have in Switzerland. And, you know, but we do talk about the future today. And I do hope that with this launch, all of you will learn something, how you can do better business between a booming region of Central Eastern Europe and wonderful, successful, and beautiful Switzerland. And with that, I just wanted to make one hint. We organize an event next Thursday. So if anybody's interested to come, it's called the CE Day, which is the most important kind of like day between the relationships between Switzerland and 70 countries. It's at another Guildhall in Zurich. If you're interested, just talk to me. And anyway, I hand over to Tom.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you. So my name is Tom Barnhart, and I'm based in Poland and running an organization called European Business Services Association. And we do a number of things. I'm going to give you the 1-minute version. We run a media business. We cover all things shared services, GBS, across Central Eastern Europe, from Baltics down through Poland, of course, Visegrad, as you said earlier, Romania, etc. We've been doing that for about 15 years now. We do a big awards event every year in March in Warsaw. Many of you have been there already. Some of you have not yet. That's a 2-day summit and conference. These are some of the companies coming, about 350 people. About 200 shared service centers are there. And then we are also doing many events or niche events throughout the year. This is a series called Fresh Perspectives. It's connecting foreign investors from a specific country, for example, Danish investors, Swiss investors, or American, to a specific city in Central Eastern Europe. So we might pair up Krakow with Germany, or Gdańsk with Denmark, for example. And that will be in 4 or 5 or 6 different cities in the springtime of next year. The website is EuropeanBusinessServices.com, which also has a weekly newsletter covering news and news about the industry. Kind of strange and funny, we also started doing beach volleyball tournaments years ago in Warsaw. It's now in 5 or 6 cities. It's really team building for the GBS centers. We started with 2 teams years ago in Warsaw. We now have 46 teams this summer. We may get to 100 next summer. That's the aspiration. And then, as I said, we have this association, which is an open association with newsletters and directories of all the players. We think we have a directory of all the shared service centers in Central Europe. So we're quite pleased with that. But welcome to engage with you guys in anything we're doing. I do want to just emphasize once again to those, particularly online, that we can send this to you via PDF. Download this new directory or guide to nearshoring in Poland for Swiss companies. So the idea of today was to discuss a bit of the idea of Swiss mid-sized corporates who may be considering offshoring or nearshoring some of their F&A or IT or other services, white-collar services, somewhere else, particularly to Central Europe or to Poland. And so we crafted this panel with a couple of companies who have captive centers in Poland already, and then at the closest end to meet with Stephen Van Dam. And then further at the very end would be a company that provides services to those who don't want to set up a shared service center, the investment and time it takes, but rather hire someone to do the services for you. And then kind of in between, maybe you guys from helping somewhere hybrid. So without further ado, I'll ask each of you to introduce yourself. And Stephen, if you could tell us a bit about yourself and the company, and then we'll come back and have you do your first presentation.
Okay, good evening, everybody, both online and the people here present in the room this evening. So my name is Steven Van Damme, and I'm at CIO, Chief Information Officer at Barry Callebaut. As Barry Callebaut, we are, most probably, I don't know if you know us, but we are a B2B company in the food industry. Namely, we're more specific into chocolate and to cocoa, so very targeted segment within the food industry. As said, B2B, we don't have really our own consumer brands, but we produce chocolate that we sell to companies like Nestlé, Mondelez, Unilever, but also to big praline companies like Godiva, Neuhaus, etc. These are our clients. We also operate in the segment of HoReCa, so pastry chefs, restaurants, etc. That's a channel we serve not directly, but via distributors. Happy to be here this evening and talk to you about our experiences of nearshoring in Poland.
Yeah, my name is Marcel Tay. I'm the CFO of Helpling Group. We've been invited to give you some insights about our last adventure, which in our organization was a nearshoring project in Poland. We were looking for some support in our software engineering. I will tell you some details later. And I made this project together with Urban Schnell, which is one of our business leaders in Helbling Technic. Yeah, I'm very happy to give you some insights about this project and yeah, how where we are so far.
Great, super.
Thank you.
Shimon?
So hello, Szymon Stadnik, I'm CEO of Vitales. We are IT and back office outsourcing provider in Poland. I'm connected with Switzerland for quite a while already. Since 2010, I was working as a finance director for Talivine, a Swiss retail chain. I built a shared service center for Talivine. So also I was responsible for doing the nearshoring of some selected processes from Switzerland all around Europe to Poland. So I know the captive world. I built and co-founded together with Swiss investors a BPO called Freestar, where I helped numerous big and medium-sized Swiss corporations to move some of the processes and create some of the positions in back office and IT in Poland. And right now I'm running Items, where we also support Swiss and American corporations in the nearshoring and offshoring journey by linking the Switzerland and Poland and Switzerland and United States with Polish job market and creating high-performing teams for clients. So it's a pleasure to be here and share the experience with you and with the online audience.
Good. So the last housekeeping I have from my side is to thank the Polish embassy, which in Bern, which is also supporting the event, and as well as the publication. So I wanted to also say thanks to them and to the other two chambers involved. So Stephen, you're welcome to stand up or sit down. I will place a nice grip.
Tell me well that I don't break my legs with all the chains.
Just tell me when you want to slide.
Good. Let's already start. So let me first talk a little bit about the company, because we about small, mid-sized companies. And if I can have the first page, Tom. So small, mid-sized companies, I often call us a larger mid-sized or smaller, large-sized multinational company. So just about Barry Callebaut at a glance. So
Let me interrupt you one second. Are we sure? If you got to stand, but maybe
one more.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
There you're good like that. That's good.
Voilà, good. I'm not standing in front of my.
No, you're fine. You're good.
That's fine. Good. So as already said, Barry Callebaut, company in the food industry. We're in business to business, and just talking about Barry Callebaut in a couple of numbers. Yeah. We produce chocolate for the entire food industry. Clients I already mentioned. 2.3 million tons of chocolate we make every year and sell towards our customers. One truck is 20 tons. So if you calculate, that's a lot of trucks that go to our customers every year. In terms of size, an 8 billion Swiss company, so 8 billion Swiss. From an EBIT point of view, 600 million. What's perhaps also important a little bit mentioning here, 66 factories globally. 66 globally, really to be taken literally. Yeah? So we are not only in Europe, we are in Americas, North, South. We are in Asia Pacific, we're also in Africa. And from a headcount point of view, we have 13,000 employees. Yeah? Of that 13,000 employees, call it 8,000 white-collar people, and then about 5,000 factory workers. Yeah? So people that work in the factories, blue-collar. Yeah. If I can have the next page, Tom. Just to picture a little bit in the entire industry from a size point of view, we on one hand are in chocolate, but we also produce what I call the semi-finished products, cocoa products. The cocoa goes into the chocolate. In the cocoa market, we are number one, a little bit above Cargill. So Cargill is of course into much more ingredients than we are. A little bit larger over there, but I think when you then look into chocolate, we are really, let's say, the leader by far in business-to-business chocolate. Yeah? And if you look into some of the, call it the market impact, some of the products we are out there, I don't know if you know Tony Chocolonely, so very well-known, more Dutch brand, very authentic also. Perhaps the product you know the most, so who does not know the magnums from Unilever? So all the magnums of Unilever worldwide, whether you eat it in the Americas, Europe, Asia Pacific, it's all Barry Callebaut inside. Sometimes on a laptop you see in like Barry Callebaut chocolate. Often we are inside of chocolate in the food industry. I think 1 out of 3 chocolates in the world is basically Barry Callebaut chocolate inside. Just to picture our company. And then if I narrow down into what we now do in shared services, Tom, if I can have the next slide. And before basculating into this, I don't want to create the wrong perception that we are only doing captive services, nearshore, offshore. So if I speak for myself, IT, these services which we deliberately decide to say we don't do this captive because we can't do this ourselves. I give an example. I have a wide area network globally, 130 locations. I need to support that globally, all time zones, For such type of services, we deliberately took the choice. We are not going to do this ourselves, and we work with an outsourcing partner. In this particular case, GTT. Data center services, all of our locations globally, 130, run on a global data center. The global data center is today still in a location in the Netherlands. We all move it to the public cloud, Azure. Also here, very deliberately, we say we don't do this captive, we don't try to do this ourselves, we work with a global outsourcing partner. So there's a whole bunch of services for which we said we are too small, it's 24 hours, 7 days on 7, we want to create the leverage of nearshore, offshore, we can't do this ourselves, let's work with a global partner. Yeah. Now I will zoom in what we actually do still ourselves and a bit captive, and that's our story of nearshoring in Poland. Yeah. It started actually in 2015, so the company at the time was still smaller. We were not yet an 8 billion company, perhaps a 5 billion or so. And we went to Poland, started with a very small kernel of activities with good 50 headcount. You need to know that the idea of going nearshore was already playing a lot of time, quite some years in the company, with a lot of believers and non-believers, and so always the believers and the non-believers. But at that point in time, we said, okay, good, we need to jump, we need to experience, get the experience, and we started with a small kernel, with 50 people. Today, 2023, we're already 350 people in Poland, and also we'll come back a little bit later on the future potential. We don't only have Poland, and by the way, I think in terms of services, so finance, IT, I think Tom, you already mentioned. Data management, master data management is also under my responsibility at Barry, under IT, and it's also part of, let's say, the activities we cover over there, next to some other functions. But if you look into the pie chart of what we primarily cover, it's finance, it's IT, it's master data, that makes up the 70%, and all the rest is a little bit spread amongst some other functions. Okay. We then started a little bit later on with also getting into Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. Established in 2022. Meanwhile, it has already a headcount of 120, so then we went more aggressive in, because we already knew the potential of what a nearshore center could do. And actually, Malaysia is for us the nearshore center for Asia. Our headquarters in Asia is in Singapore, and Malaysia acts there as the nearshore center for the Asia business. Like already mentioned, for what we do over here with the services, it's captive for the moment. And said main functions are finance, IT, data management, next to some other functions. There's different maturity levels in the shared service center or in GPS. I think we are at the level of a level 2, so functional shared services, finance, IT, master data, and some other functions. So this is a bit where we are today. If I can have the next page, Tom. So still talking a bit further about our story, which started in 2015, and explain a little bit the evolution we went through also mentally. And so we started with the center, mainly driven by, okay, let's have some access to skills, also access to people that would cost a little bit less than in Switzerland or in Belgium. So basically the salary arbitrage was playing. And then also we started really with more transactional activities. But for reasons of cost, salary arbitrage, as already said. In the different years that we are meanwhile present over there, so 8 years, we have really got into more value-adding functions, so not only the transactional ones. And the focus has not only been any longer on salary arbitrage, but also getting out more efficiency and getting out higher quality services, more compliant services, higher quality of services. So let me give a couple of examples here. Value adding, take the example of IT. So I started with application support, operational master data management, service desk. But quite quickly, because we saw also Switzerland, Belgium, very difficult to find people, I got also more into people that are delivering projects and business analysts that know SAP and that can deliver on a project. So really going more upstream into the type of activities we do from Poland. If I take another example in the area of finance, so starting with things like credit control, accounts payable processing, etc., but then also getting into activities like tax management for the entire of Europe. So really climbing up the value ladder when it comes to the type of activities we were doing from the Nearshoring Center in Poland and Malaysia. And we see that further evolving into the future. So where only today we do this for finance and IT, we expect this to expand also for other functions. Geographical scope, when we started, it was Europe. Europe, Barry Callebaut is headquartered in Switzerland, Zurich. Majority of the business is, the main part of the business is in Europe. Yes, we are in Americas, we are in APAC. So that was the obvious area to actually start. The more mature business is the more sizable business over here. But gradually we got also into a scope that got more global. So first of all, we established the Malaysia Center, but Poland is today also serving actually the Americas. So Americas North and South, for instance, on everything which is accounts payable, processing and finance, it is also Poland doing that for the Americas. Functional scope, very small start with finance and IT, and we call it IM, information management, very important, IM. We got into finance, IM, and other functions. For the other functions, we are today still scratching the surface, but it is our intention to really more solidly get also into nearshore services in Poland for other functions. That is then the future. Headcount, I said, very small kernel. We started with 50 people. Today, across Poland and Malaysia, we are at 500, so it's multiplied by 10 in 8 years. And there are currently being plans defined to further expand this. And so we are currently in a transformation program at Barry Callebaut called Next Level. And it's also in the context of that Next Level program that we're also going to look into how can we more tap into the potential of nearshore locations like Poland. If I can have the next slide, Tom, yes. And perhaps a little bit based on experience, I call it a little bit the green and the orange traffic lights, not to put a red one out there. So the good thing about Poland or just nearshoring in general, I think we have seen this as not only as a way of salary arbitrage, but really if you consolidate more activities from one location, it is a way also of driving process harmonization, of driving efficiency, and actually improving compliance and quality of the services that you provide compared to decentralized organizations. That's a more general statement, so that does not only apply for Poland. Perhaps more specific to Poland, I think the access to people and skills, I think is very good. So a young population, a lot of universities, etc. I would like to immediately link that a little bit with watch out. So we see that for certain functions, it's getting more and more difficult, or it's actually difficult to get those skills in Poland. Examples would be in the area of analytics, I speak for IT, cybersecurity, but also, for instance, if you look into application type of work that you do, more niche skills, still today, Salesforce, a challenge to get them in Poland. But for me, it's a bit more like a general statement. Everybody is fighting for the analytics skills, for the cybersecurity skills in today's world. Perhaps less specific to Poland, but at least we were looking to Poland to also get them. On the still strengths, I think language literacy, and I think in the kind of the pre-discussion prior to the session this evening is that is really strength of Poland. It's not only about knowing Polish, of course, also English, but people know other languages also, German, other languages, sometimes French, sometimes some Dutch people that move over there that speak some Dutch. So you have quite some language literacy. For a European headquartered company, and I think today we talk for Switzerland and companies in Switzerland that think of moving to Poland, being in the middle time zone. So if you're a global company, Europe is in the middle time zone between APAC and the Americas. That's really an advantage of everything which is Eastern Europe, of which Poland. So you overlap several hours a day with the APAC, you overlap several hours a day with the Americas. Real advantage here. For instance, also that played in the change management. So we hesitated for a long time. We now jump into nearshoring, yes or no. I often call it Poland is the 2 hours flight away from Switzerland, the 2 hours flight away from Belgium, from any other location. It's not that you need to jump into a plane into India and then you lose 1 day to actually get there. So this travel proximity, I think, is a very important advantage of being with a nearshore center in Europe, of which Poland. Yeah. And I think culture, yeah, if you're more a Western company headquartered in Switzerland with a strong European heritage, being in Eastern Europe, of which Poland is, I think, an advantage of being, of course, the culture. Yeah. Still on the watch out, orange traffic lights. So first of all, I think there is, of course, the salary inflationary pressures. We see that everywhere in the world, but then, of course, specific for Poland, we have seen that an acceleration, which is a little bit higher than in most other countries. So watch out for the future, that we remain also with that salary arbitrage advantage. And this one I would also like to mention is we deliberately chose at the time in Poland to go for what I would call a tier 2 city approach, not Warsaw, not Krakow, so which is 2 hours taxi drive from Warsaw, from an airport, which also makes it a little bit a tier 2 location, at least at the time. That also had a benefit from a labor arbitrage point of view, the salary costs. We see that more and more becoming blurred because with today's hybrid world, people which get heavily attracted from Warsaw, they don't need to travel to Warsaw, but they simply work remote from home. Also for Warsaw-based companies, for Warsaw-based shared service centers. So that's a little bit of a growing competition for tier 2 locations in Poland, also coming from the tier 1 locations because it all becomes hybrid. Yeah. So a little bit our story of Barry Callebaut, our experience with nearshoring at Barry Callebaut, and then I would say a little bit of our lessons learned, what goes well, and some orange traffic lights for the future. Yeah. I think later on we will have room for
questions.
a panel discussion.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, thank you very much. Marcel, you're up, and you have an English presentation. You're speaking German, which is, of course, what it should be.
Ja, vielen Dank für die Gelegenheit, mit Ihnen hier heute Abend unsere Erfahrungen teilen zu dürfen im Bereich Nearshoring in der Softwareentwicklung bei Helbling. Ich würde Ihnen gerne kurz eine Einführung machen zu Helbling und wo eben diese Softwareentwicklung in unserer Organisation angesiedelt ist und welche Bereiche davon betroffen sind. Das findet sich gleich auf der nächsten Seite. Nämlich unsere Helbling-Gruppe, die besteht aus 4 Bereichen. Von links nach rechts ist das PLM Solutions, das ist der Bereich, wo wir das so Softwarelösungen, Standardlösungen vertreiben und parametrisieren und dann nachfolgend Helbling-Beratung und Bauplanung. Das ist das Departement, wo Dienstleistungen im Bereich Civil Engineering angeboten werden, also Bauleistungen, Konstruktionsleistungen im Baubereich. Und dann der zweitgrößte Bereich sind die Business Advisors. Das ist das klassische Management Consulting von Helbling mit einer langen Geschichte. Aber die längste Geschichte hat natürlich unser größter Bereich und das ist die Helbling Technik. Die Helbling Technik steht und versteht sich als Produkt- und Technologieentwickler, als führender Entwickler von Produkten, Anwendungen von Software selbstverständlich auch in der Schweiz oder als einer der führenden Anbieter in diesem Bereich. Wir sind alle 4 Bereiche in einer Gruppe zusammengefasst, unabhängig von Interessenentwicklern, auch unabhängig in dem Sinne nicht von unseren Kunden an und für sich, aber von Partikularinteressen natürlich sehr, sehr wohl. Also wir können uns voll fokussieren auf die Bedürfnisse in der Entwicklung für unsere Kunden. Diese Softwareentwicklung, die findet in der Helbling Technik statt und auf der nächsten Seite habe ich noch 2, 3 weitere Begriffe aufgeführt, wie sich diese Helbling Technik versteht. Ich möchte einen Punkt herausstreichen. Wir entwickeln also nichts für uns selbst bei Helbling Technik. Wir besitzen keine eigenen Produkte, wir besitzen kein Intellectual Property, wir besitzen keine eigenen Technologien. Alles, was wir entwickeln, das entwickeln wir erstens in Projektteams mit einem Projektmanager und alle unsere Arbeitsergebnisse gehören unseren Kunden. Ohne Ausnahme. Wir verkaufen also auch keine Lizenzen. Wir verkaufen unsere Arbeitsleistung. Das zum Verständnis, wenn ich jetzt weiter ausführe zum Thema Softwareentwicklung, dann verkaufen wir also auch keine Lizenzen zu entwickelter Software oder Teilen davon, sondern wir entwickeln im Kundenauftrag, in Projektteams. Ja, so weit so gut. Die Helbing Technik besteht aus 450 Ingenieuren und etwa 10% davon befassen sich ausschließlich mit Softwareentwicklung. Softwareentwicklung ist natürlich nicht nur für sich selbst eine Dienstleistung, sondern diese Softwareentwicklung, die kommt in allen möglichen Produktentwicklungen als Embedded Software vor. Ist also sehr, sehr breit verankert in unserer Entwicklungsdienstleistung und in unserer Entwicklungssektor. Dann würde ich gerne darauf zu sprechen kommen, wie wir auf der nächsten Seite, wie wir mit dieser Softwareentwicklung dastehen und wie sich das entwickelt hat. Wir haben in den letzten Jahren mehr und mehr zur Kenntnis genommen, dass wir nicht mit dem Markt gewachsen sind. Und wir sind auch nicht mit unseren Wettbewerbern gewachsen im Bereich der Softwareentwicklung. Es geht uns gut in der Softwareentwicklung, weil wir haben uns positioniert als Boutique mit Spezialisten. Aber mit dieser Boutique sind wir nicht in der Lage, große Projekte anzunehmen von Kunden, die große IT-Entwicklungsprojekte ausschreiben. Und diese Kunden, die verlangen in der Regel kostengünstige Angebote oder eben Preismixe. Diese Preismixe, die kommt man nur hin, wenn man von anderen Orten, von Regionen oder Ländern mit günstigen Ressourcen einkaufen kann. Wir sind zum Schluss gekommen, oder beziehungsweise unsere Antwort auf diese Herausforderung war eben die Gründung eines Nearshoring Offices. Und in unserer DNA kommt das eigentlich nicht vor. In unserer DNA kommt es nicht vor, dass wir uns ein günstiges Land aussuchen und da zu produzieren beginnen oder Dienstleistungen erbringen wollen, sondern unsere DNA basiert eigentlich auf der Zellteilung. Das heißt, wir spezialisieren uns in einer Technologie und suchen den Wanderträger dazu. Wie das gelingen kann in einem anderen Land außerhalb der Schweiz und Deutschland und den USA, wo wir schon ansässig sind, das war uns wirklich nicht klar und wir wussten sofort, dass wir da Unterstützung brauchen und diese Unterstützung, sehr wertvolle Unterstützung, haben wir gewonnen bei Swiss Global Enterprises. Wir haben dieses Projekt in Angriff genommen mit Swiss Global Enterprises. Dazu auf der nächsten Seite haben wir einen Masterplan erstellt zusammen mit Swiss Global Enterprises, um eben ein Land zu finden mit günstigeren Gestehungskosten, wo wir aber dazu auch einen Bannerträger finden. Bannerträger im Sinne der Teamleitung und des Aufbaus der Ressourcen vor Ort, des Coachings der Ressourcen, Führung der Ressourcen für die Rekrutierung. Das ist unsere Auffassung, wie wir unsere Organisation führen. Zu einer Dienstleistung gehört ein Bannerträger. Infolgedessen haben wir die Auslegeordnung zusammen mit Swiss Global Enterprises so gemacht, dass wir Länder gesucht haben, die in Frage kommen, wo wir eben auch einen Bannerträger dazu identifizieren konnten. Und mit der Hilfe von Swiss Global Enterprises wurde schnell klar, dass da Polen der Favorit ist, weil wir dazu eine sehr motivierte, auch talentierte oder im Verkauf talentierte Persönlichkeit gefunden haben. Das einerseits und andererseits, weil wir der Überzeugung waren, dass wir in Polen mit dem Hype im IT-Bereich, dass wir in Polen eben diese Ressourcen finden würden. Es gibt eine große Anzahl von Universitäten im Bereich IT. Es gibt sehr viele junge Absolventen. Es gibt aber auch Talente im Markt. So haben wir uns Polen vorgestellt und haben zu Polen recherchiert. Ich komme dann abschließend nochmals darauf zurück, was wir jetzt so leben. Ich darf dazu vielleicht auch sagen, dass wir natürlich ganz am Beginn sind im Vergleich zu dem, was wir vorher gehört haben von Barry Calvo. Wir sind ganz, ganz klein in Polen und 350, das ist eher die Zahl der Mitarbeiter für die ganze Helbling-Gruppe und nicht das, was wir in Polen machen. Bei Helbling sind wir 700 Personen und in Polen derzeit 3. Nur so zu den Größenverhältnissen. Dieser Prozess mit Swiss Global Enterprises, ich kann das ja jetzt schon sagen, das war effizient, wie wir zu diesem Resultat gekommen sind. Mit Swiss Global Enterprises haben wir zu Polen qualifizierte Informationen erhalten, die uns sonst nicht zugänglich gewesen wären, und wir konnten von ihrer Erfahrung, von ihrer professionellen Erfahrung in Polen profitieren. Das hatten wir natürlich auch nicht, das hatte niemand in unserer Organisation. Von daher das Teaming ab da mit Swiss Global Enterprises, das war wichtig. Und mit der Zunahme oder der Entwicklung dieser Pläne und dem zunehmenden Reifegrad dieser Pläne für das Nearshoring Office wurde natürlich in der Helbling-Gruppe sind Sorgen und Ängste gewachsen. Im Heimatmarkt bei unseren Entwicklungsingenieuren in der Schweiz und in Deutschland, bei unseren Softwareentwicklern in der Schweiz, ungefähr 40 an der Zahl. Die haben natürlich hatten gewisse Befürchtungen, dass sie da konkurrenziert werden durch westlich günstigere Alternativen und talentierte junge Softwareentwickler in Polen. Und das hat uns dazu gebracht, 2, 3 Regeln, ich habe sie hier beschrieben, zu definieren. Das eine ist, dass wir uns nach wie vor und strikt als Entwickler verstehen, der Dienstleistungen in Projektteams erbringt. Wir verkaufen also nicht einzelne Softwareentwickler. Und wir betreiben auch kein sogenanntes Bodyleasing. Das ist nicht unser Dienstleistungssegment. Im Grundsatz nicht in der Helbling-Gruppe und im Entwicklungsgeschäft. Und das Zweite, was wir definierten, ist, dass wir aus Polen heraus nicht direkt in der Schweiz und in Deutschland Projekte verkaufen wollen. Und damit konnten wir eigentlich wesentliche Vorbehalte völlig abfangen. Nun zusammenfassend möchte ich erwähnen, in Polen zu unseren Erfahrungen, wir sind jetzt 1 Jahr unterwegs, also praktisch als Baby im Vergleich zu Calabo, was wir hörten. Aber wir haben die ersten Ressourcen Softwareentwickler gefunden, die sind sehr gut ausgebildet. Sie sind von der Einstellung her und von der Professionalität vergleichbar mit den Ressourcen, die wir hier in der Schweiz haben. Das sind sehr gute Leute, die wir einstellen konnten bis jetzt. Selbstverständlich werden sie, wie aber alle unsere Mitarbeitenden, noch da gechallenged durch den Kosten- und Zeitdruck in Projekten. Die wurden natürlich etwas geschont, weil die eingebunden sind jetzt in unsere aktuellen Projekte und nicht in Großprojekte, die wir hoffentlich in Zukunft vermehrt in Angriff nehmen. Da sind sie etwas geschont und da wird der Wind zweifellos noch etwas kühler blasen für diese Software-Ingenieure. Aber im Grundsatz sind wir mit den Personen zufrieden. Was wir aber gemerkt haben, ist, dass in Polen gar niemand auf uns gewartet hat. Und der Wettbewerb um diese guten Software-Ingenieure, der ist groß, der ist hart. Diese jungen Talente haben viele Alternativen und Opportunitäten. Wir sind zwar am richtigen Ort mit auch den richtigen Leuten, aber wir sind hinter unserem Plan deutlich zurück. Wir wollten schneller vorwärts kommen und das liegt am Personalmarkt und wir mussten zum Beispiel eben nicht nur den Wettbewerb zur Kenntnis nehmen, sondern auch lernen, dass die Mitarbeiter in Polen einen Steuervorteil haben, wenn sie als Freelancer tätig sind. Und das ist für uns kein gangbarer Weg, in Projektteams zu arbeiten mit Freelancern. Wir wollen eigene Mitarbeiter, die wir beschäftigen, die wir führen können vor Ort und nicht irgendwo im Homeoffice. Das ist unsere Vorstellung von Entwicklung, die wir unseren Kunden so verkaufen. Ja, und das ist eine Schwierigkeit, mit der wir uns beschäftigen. Und zu guter Letzt ein Punkt, auf den ich gerne hinweisen möchte, der uns auch erstaunt hat, ist, dass wir für die Verwaltung dieses Geschäfts vor Ort und zur Erfüllung der behördlichen Auflage wesentlich mehr Geld ausgeben müssen als für das Personal, was wir bis jetzt eingestellt haben. Das gestaltet sich für unsere Verhältnisse und ich könnte mir auch vorstellen, für andere Startups gestaltet sich das kompliziert und für mich ist das kein Grund zu sagen, ja, der Ease of Doing Business in Polen ist insgesamt nicht gegeben. Das würde ich auf keinen Fall sagen, aber der Ease of Administration, da lohnt sich zweifellos Vorbereitung oder bessere Vorbereitung, als wie wir das gemacht haben. An dieser Stelle und soweit vielen Dank für Ihre Aufmerksamkeit und dass ich da einige Gedanken mit Ihnen teilen durfte.
Okay, so we're going to continue with Shimon, and then we will have questions and comments both from the audience here, but if there's anyone online, then Dominika can read the questions in chat. If you have questions, please put it in the chat and Dominika will read them out loud. Okay, Shimon, you're up.
Okay, so as I said, my name is Szymon Sławnik. I'm running BPO and ITO ITLS, where we support Swiss companies, American companies in the nearshoring journey. And my adventure with nearshoring started in Tallinn in 2013, when I was responsible for creating a shared service center for a Swiss corporation, where we centralize all the processes from Switzerland, from all around Europe in one place in Poland. And based on this learning, I had the conclusion that first, this journey, well, it's quite difficult to create a shared service center, especially to build quite big and efficient operations. And the second conclusion was that there are so many other companies which could use the benefits of nearshoring and which could use the benefits of having teams in Poland as well, because throughout the years, Dalival benefited strongly with talent pool in Poland, the labor arbitrage, all the optimizations we did, and all the availability of niche talent which we were able to find in Poland. So I thought that it would be really good to support the other companies in Switzerland and also around the world in the nearshoring journey, and actually to do it not as a consulting company but as a BPO. And I founded together with Swiss investors a BPO in Poland called Freestar. Right now I'm also running ITLS, and I was lucky enough to use all the expertise of first building a shared service center and then running a shared service center to consult and to provide the reference how to build operations in Poland. So if we go, so what I'm specializing at and what we're specializing at in ITLS is that we want to be a bridge between companies in Switzerland, medium-sized companies which did not experience nearshoring and they did not experience outsourcing to Poland, to be a bridge between those companies in Switzerland and United States and Polish labor market, Polish talent, Polish engineers, Polish accountants, Polish managers. We build teams for the clients, international clients. We build teams in Poland in really broad spectrum of expertises. And if we go further, we don't have one specialty. So we actually can build a team in IT. We can find some niche talent in SAP. And we just spoke with Steven right now. I will deep dive more strongly about the difficulties in finding Salesforce consultants in Poland. We actually have a team of Salesforce consultants, so for sure, Steven, we will support you in this respect. But we can recruit, build a team in quite almost all the areas of IT, Salesforce, SAP, e-commerce, cloud, but also in BP area. So when company wants to move some of the processes or want to upgrade and maybe increase the team size from Switzerland or from all around the world into Polish team and build the team in Poland, in finance and accounting, master data, any other, maybe analytics or controlling, we can support those clients in building the team. And how we do it is actually, this is also the experience I had from the past, also by building shared service center and working with a lot of medium-sized companies or the companies which did not experience nearshoring yet. And the approach was, so we were wondering how to minimize risk and how to minimize the need of upfront investment and how to enable all those companies to test the Polish job market. And how we do it is that we propose to start with just few FTEs. And most of the companies in Switzerland are struggling to find some particular niche talent. It could be SAP consultancy, or it could be Salesforce consultant, or it could be even some accounting or controlling team. And they have open vacancies. We help them fill those vacancies in Poland. We recruit those people. We recruit. We hire. Those guys deliver the service, but in really limited scope under the roof of Vitales. And once this works and we learn the relationship, our client is learning the relationship, or Swiss company is learning the relationship with Polish talent, we build trust. And once the trust is built, we can increase the size of the team, of course, supporting our clients with our competences in of recruitment, HR, lean optimization. Once the trust is there and a few selected team members are there and they work and they deliver the service, our clients are moving forward and they increase the team and we increase the team for them. And we just do it constantly, and that's why I said that we can actually do it in all the areas of expertise. It doesn't matter what kind of area our clients need the support. It's more about to understand the culture of the client, the business needs, the rationale, and the road forward. But our goal is actually to enable the companies which don't have the experience to do the nearshoring and to utilize the benefits of the Polish job market. And if we go further, yeah, this can be done in various models. So it could be, we can build like really large BPO teams for our clients. We can just do a staff or team augmentation. And as I said, we can just create a team of few people. We can do the managed service. So after some time, when we establish the service, the service level agreement, we can just deliver the service constantly based on the SLA which we agreed. And if we go further, this is our mission, and I'm really proud of it because it's we want to help our clients in the constant transformation to be great, and this is great, from good to great. Jim Collins, great, not not US great. And if we go further, Donald Trump, great. And yeah, we have so we took our onboarding methodology and transfer methodology from a shared service center, also for professional outsourcing companies. So so we start with SOV, and then we define the scope of the project, or even the scope of one position. We do the recruitment, we do the shadowing, we do the process maps, and once we have a team, we also make sure, and we use our expertise in order to optimize the processes, to map those processes, to optimize, to write down the documentation which is needed for our clients. So we guide them to this job. And the last is just to share with you some of the really nice examples from the past, and the current examples. So as I said, I was really lucky to use this expertise which I gained thanks to Talivai and working by Talivai and building a shared service center to help other Swiss companies. And those were big production group for which we created, I helped create a SAP team, which was responsible in Poland, working together with the headquarters in the implementation of SAP for the entire Europe. I was responsible for creating an IT hub, which took over the responsibility for a retail company, responsibility for entire e-com agenda. So at some point it was 25 people, and we were doing the whole e-com from software development, UX, marketing performance. So the complete e-com was performed by a Polish team. Another example is the current one. Right now, we're supporting American company in establishing and centralizing the all operations from Europe and US in one place here in Warsaw. And we starting small, exactly as I described. We started small. We hired first 2 guys in accounting. Then we added a few guys in help desk. And right now we're moving further. We already recruited 15 people within different areas of expertise. And within half a year, we will add the next 15. And so we move very gradually together with the experience which is built between us, the partnership which is built between us, and according to the risk appetite of the client. So yeah, there is way more examples of the different companies, how we support. Just to finish, I'm really big fan of Poland. I believe Poland has so many advantages and benefits which Swiss companies can utilize. And of course, Polish job market is changing, as we hopefully will discuss. Polish job market is changing. It's not only about the cost right now, but it's also about expertise, and it's also about the niche talent and really like senior expertise. And even within ITLS right now, we have guys who are running the strategic agenda, like Salesforce Marketing Cloud architect, who is running the whole Salesforce Marketing Cloud agenda for like third biggest insurance company in US. And the entire team and the entire agenda is run by a person from Poland. So yeah, so it's a pleasure to be here, and I will
Great.
tell the button.
Okay, let's see if we have any questions, comments, additions, and you can let us know, Dominique, if there's anyone online from that perspective. I'll start a little bit with Stephen. You mentioned salary inflation, and we talked about automation and how much, one of your slide was going from 50 to 500 people. In the old days, a couple of years ago, the FTE growth was something that everyone would brag about. We're getting bigger. Is that going to begin to change where you have more automation? Of course, chat, of course, AI coming in. will we be able to do the same thing you're doing now with 30–40% less people by moving up the value chain in terms of automation and process improvement?
I think, of course, the benefits of further automation plays for the overall company, and not only specific for what you do from nearshore locations. But I think what I found interesting as a trend to see, and it's also how we reason as a company. So we've seen that companies that started in the early days nearshoring from Poland, at a given point in time, they said, let's now move from Poland to, for instance, India. Because we want to take the next step when it comes to also getting some cost efficiency out, labor arbitrage, etc. So I think in today's world, where you see all these benefits coming in from automation, an example is RPA and record to report, how you run your financials and your reporting. I think you can reason more nowadays and saying, okay, good, I have it established from Poland to the shore. And by adding levels of automation and high degrees of automation, you gain additional FTE headcount efficiency, which is a trade-off to be made and saying, okay, good, I stay in Poland, but I bring in the additional levels of automation, hence I reach additional benefits, compared to then saying, okay, good, companies in the past then moved to India to gain a little bit the same result. So I definitely see that as a trend, because relocating a center is costing money. You need to invest one-off into establishing a new center, transferring the knowledge, etc. And definitely, I think additional degrees of automation will make sure that we might stay in nearshore centers, whereas in the past we might have considered moving further east. The example is my former boss was working for Philips. Philips was one of the first companies that actually moved into Poland, large centers. At a given point in time, I think 10–15 years ago, then they decided let's move more east, so to India, also on the back of Infosys. I think in today's world, you might reconsider that with the additional degrees of automation you put in place. And you would keep then the benefits of saying you stay in a center that is for European headquartered companies that is close by, 2 hours flight away. It's in the middle time zone, same culture, etc. So definitely trend, I think, on the back of more automation.
Questions to the audience? Marcel, tell me about the HQ perception of what you're doing so far. What is the board level perception? Are they happy, unhappy, waiting and seeing how it's going, cautious, enthusiastic? But before you answer that, one question back to you about currency. Swiss currency generally pretty strong versus Polish currency. How much of a factor is that in what your decision was in the beginning, and how much it affects things these days? The Swiss franc versus zloty.
Yeah, but I think the Swiss franc compared to the zloty and then also to the European euro, I think Swiss franc has also only been appreciating.
Yes.
Which then basically means that if cost is a driver, it only has become more compelling than in the past. So it only has become more compelling. To put some numbers to it, in our case, I have a lot of my team in Europe is based Belgium, Switzerland, Poland. Poland is by far now the biggest center, grown in the last 5 to 8 years, at least from an IT perspective. The person in Poland, you would pay, let's say, half of what you pay in Belgium, and actually 1/3 of what you would be paying in Switzerland. So there's a little bit the things you need to have in mind, and that's our experience from.
Big difference.
It's a big difference.
Okay. Marcel, board level perceptions of what you're doing?
Ja, also wir sind im Grundsatz auch im Verwaltungsrat sind wir zufrieden mit dem Entscheid für dieses Nearshoring-Projekt und für die Standortwahl. Wir sind einverstanden mit der Wahl von Polen, aber wir sind etwas enttäuscht über das Tempo. Wir haben uns schon mehr versprochen. Wir waren vielleicht auch etwas naiv und haben gedacht, dass Helbling auch in Polen zieht, weil unsere Projekte attraktiv sind. Das sind sie in der Schweiz, aber Handkehrum muss man ehrlich sein und sagen, in der Schweiz haben wir mit unserer Attraktivität auch Schwierigkeiten, an die guten Ingenieure zu kommen. Und dass die jungen, talentierten Polen uns nicht alles glauben, so wie es die Schweizer auch nicht tun. Das ist verständlich und ich glaube, es gilt ein Stück weit auch try harder. Und persistent bleiben in den Bemühungen, da zu rekrutieren, unseren Brand zu verkaufen bei den jungen Leuten, sie überzeugen von unserer Art, wie wir Projekte angehen. Ich glaube, wir haben gute Argumente, die für uns sprechen. Wir haben sehr, sehr spannende Projekte, wo auch junge Ingenieure viel lernen können, dass sie bei uns vorbeikommen, vielleicht nicht mehr immer bei uns bleiben, aber dass sie zu uns vorbeikommen. Und wir sind natürlich ein sehr kleiner Player, aber ich hoffe doch, dass wir da mehr und mehr bekannt werden in Breslau, wo wir sind, in Wrocław. Ja, das ist natürlich auch eine große Stadt für so ein kleines Building Office. Aber ich hoffe, dass wir da bekannter und bekannter werden. Mich als Finanzchef beschäftigt natürlich dieses Inflationsthema, was Sie vorher angeschnitten haben, auch weil wir ja die Leistungen aus Polen vor allem in die Schweiz verkaufen. Und da ist das wieder die ganz kleinen Tiere im Körper, oder? Macht Inflation Fieber. Weil die Marge, die wird dann immer kleiner, oder? Also die Temperatur steigt und steigt, wenn da die Inflation groß ist. Und wenn man das weitergeben kann am lokalen Markt, ist das eine Sache, wenn das möglich ist. Aber intern, wenn man das in die Schweiz verkauft und wir das nicht weitergeben können, weil wir in dem Sinne diesen Inflationsdruck nicht im gleichen Umfang spüren. In Polen ist der war er extrem und ist er extrem. Ja, dann macht das schon Sorgen. Ne? Das ist nicht ganz sorgenfrei.
Okay. Shall I translate?
I think it's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah, is it or? Okay.
And Shiva, I want to ask you about.
Can I refer to?
Yeah.
Because this was really interesting points just to refer. So first, regarding Poland and the opportunities and the threats coming out from automation, and I think Poland has one of the best ecosystems in terms of outsourcing business service sector. It has one of the largest business service sector in the world and the largest in Europe. It's enormous, and the ecosystem consists of extremely high-end R&D places and centers, GBS, very major players, as well as new entrants. And actually, Poland is one of the battlefields for testing automation and all those technologies. So if you're looking for automating your processes, probably Poland would be a really nice place to go to move your processes and then to automatize them, because you will find the army of RPA specialists who can do it for you and who can experience working with large organizations, like Roche or right now also Novartis or other Swiss or international brands. So I think that's a really big opportunity. You have lots of talent, experience already in the field of automation on the real processes for big corporations. So that's the place to go. And of course, simple repetitive work disappears, but it disappears everywhere. So it disappears in Poland, it disappears in Switzerland. And what is also quite interesting is the Polish labor market is a place where you can shop for niche talent as well as simple talent, but more often Poland is a place where you can shop for specific roles and high-end roles, or at least mid-market roles, instead of just moving really simple process and not doing anything with it. So just enter data, enter work. If you move data into work, you can already plan that it's going to be automated in Poland. So it's worth it to move it and then automate it in Poland. So this is one. Second, I also want to refer to what Max has said. Especially the experience Handling has as an organization which starts gradually in Poland. And this is Polish labor market is quite competitive, and that's, you know, we have to be transparent that it's a competitive market with lots of companies operating and employing people. And in Poland, there are investment banks like Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan having their centers. There is Coca-Cola, there is Roche.
Plus UBS and Credit Suisse.
Exactly. So all those Swiss brands. So employees in Poland have a possibility to select out of really good brands, well-recognized brands. And then there are also really strong brands which are strong in local markets like Switzerland or US, but they're not known in Poland. And sometimes when you need quite a big budget, this initial investment of to put this budget into advertisement and to invest in your brand recognition. And what could be an alternative instead of spending this budget, knowing that the job market is competitive but full of talent and full of, you know, it's possible to fish and find really great talent, but you need to know how to have somebody to support you, guiding this labor market and showing you a little bit around how to recruit the right people, what pitch to make, right pitch to make toward the employees, your potential employees, so that they will see the benefits of your company. Of course, the Switzerland is by itself is a great brand in Poland, and any company from Switzerland, if you emphasize that you're Swiss, you're already the winner, because everybody regards Switzerland as, you know, the best place in the world. But yeah, so just
picking on that, I can confirm a very high spirit of continuous improvement amongst the Polish teams. So the centers, the people in the centers are constantly looking into what is it that we can improve. And it actually happens in a very collaborative manner. So you have a team in finance or in IT or whatever, people reflect every year in cycles like, we have been doing it this way, what can we improve and how we do things. They select the things that they think will have the highest impact on service, on quality, on efficiency. And I think you also need to see that indeed tying into automation. What is it that we can automate to become more efficient? So really that continuous improvement culture is really there, and it's a culture of constantly raising the bar and bringing the service, the efficiency of it, the quality of it at a higher level. In our company, for instance, any process metrics, how a process runs, how efficient or not efficient the process runs, with KPIs that you put onto the process. I think that's what we actually started learning from centers in Poland. So they are there compared to other locations in terms of thinking process, quality of the process, execution, put KPIs on it to demonstrate that they provide good service, but also as a way to say where can we improve, etc. So it's really exemplary from that perspective.
I would also add one thing. This is an advice for any company which would like to enter Poland, and this is that exactly. I think the spirit is exactly this one in Poland regarding the professionals, that they push for continuous improvement. They want to innovate. On the other hand, what is really important for the companies which are considering enter Polish market is to be ready for this willingness. This is really important. So it's really dangerous to enter Polish market and for the next 2 or 3 years expect that this place will be data entry place. That will be very demotivating, and it might cause attrition. So what is really important is to keep in mind that at some point when the trust is built and the partnership is built between the Polish team and the Swiss team and Swiss management to involve also Polish management in, for example, continuous improvement, so that they feel that they have influence over their processes and what they do. And once they have this influence, they can really work magic, and they can support the headquarters and the organization in Switzerland or international.
Good. Yes, got a question there?
Yeah, we have a question from Marcel. Having heard about all the labor market problems, how do you see the future in terms of finding employees? And how to secure knowledge within companies with such a high population?
Can I answer this? Maybe as a fan of Poland, and then you can.
Just go back.
I think we have some bias over here.
Yeah, but that's good.
It's all green. It's all green.
But we actually, before the panel, we were discussing this. So Polish labor market, and actually the number of people employed in the business service sector, it was 2005, it was just like 1,000 to 2,000 people. Right now it's 400,000 people employed. Okay, so that's enormous growth, and all those people were trained in the last 15 years to support all those international organizations, starting from Salesforce, SAP, into analytics and the fraud management and everything what you can imagine. And so every year there is 1,200,000 students studying in Poland. That's the equivalent of all the student population in Eastern Europe together. All other countries put it together, that's the same size, except of course Ukraine, which is also quite enormous. So Polish universities, which are quite good, they're producing every year lots of graduates. Those guys are entering all those international companies based in Łódź, Warsaw, Krakow, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 cities. And all those guys are trained to perform and support the business service sector. So the business service sector is growing really fast, and there is more and more people employed who can serve new companies entering the Polish market. Of course, the job market is changing. It is more expensive, but the competences which I also described are also changing. So there is more value-added activities than they were before. The accountant, which was just entering the data before, right now is knowledgeable regarding SAP, for example, or some other, or also some OCR system. It knows how to improve the processes, how to map the processes, how to draft the SOP, the standard operating procedure. So there is way more competences than just data entry. And those guys can speak French or German, so you can build a team of 10 people and they can serve the entire Europe.
Now to Marcel, I think.
Yes.
Ja, wir haben natürlich viel Erfahrung mit Fluktuation und mit hartem Wettbewerb um gute Ressourcen. Wir sind nicht mutlos in Polen, und ich glaube auch nicht, dass wir jetzt in Polen schwierigere Bedingungen haben als in der Schweiz oder in Deutschland. Gerade in Deutschland, wo der Markt furchtbar trocken ist. In der Schweiz ist er ein bisschen nach unseren Kindern etwas weniger trocken. Da gibt es auch gewisse Veränderungen in der Unternehmenslandschaft, die zur Befreiung von gewissen gebundenen IT-Ressourcen führen, ohne da weiter darauf einzugehen. Aber da gibt es gewisse positive Entwicklungen. Und in Polen, glaube ich, wir suchen ja Ressourcen nicht einfach Low-Tech-Ressourcen, die Software entwickeln können, sondern wir brauchen Ressourcen, die auch das Produkt verstehen, die nahe an die Produktentwicklung kommen, weil das ist der Markt in der Schweiz und in Deutschland. Wir suchen nicht primär oder nur Softwareentwickler, die Code programmieren können, en masse, im großen Stil. Das mag vielleicht auch mal ein Großprojekt sein, wo es diese Ressourcen braucht, aber im Grundsatz müssen Softwareentwickler bei uns in der Lage sein, das Produkt zu verstehen, und das braucht eine gewisse Zeit und das braucht Training, das braucht eine gewisse Dedication zu diesem Produkt. Und dem stellen wir uns in Polen und ich glaube, wir haben eine gute Chance, da die Ressourcen zu finden, weil das für uns ein unbearbeiteter Markt ist und weil unsere Dienstleistungen, und damit gar nichts gegen Outsourcing gedacht, aber ich glaube, unsere Dienstleistung ist sehr, sehr interessant. Und bietet für den durchschnittlichen Softwareentwickler wesentlich mehr als einfach das reine Coaching. Ich glaube, wir sind ein interessanter Arbeitgeber und wir werden uns da durchsetzen.
Maybe a question. When I'm thinking about the Swiss IT market, I always say, talking about now, if you have nearshoring, teams, that it's actually cool for you guys to work for Switzerland. Not only thinking about the level of price level, etc. But I always say I'm a big fan of Switzerland as well. That Switzerland has really moved into kind of like a very important IT market, definitely in Europe, in terms of what we're doing, mostly also in Zurich. 5% of the people working in Zurich have an IT job. So that's kind of really the center of IT in Switzerland. It's based here. And with all those companies, we're not going to talk about Googles and Facebooks and everything. I'm just saying with the competitive ranking of Switzerland, innovation ranking, the price pressure, the experience in actually embedded software and optimization. It's one of the most industrialized countries in the world. People don't know that because we optimize. So would you agree that this is something where you can actually, with Helbring, who's really the top industry consultant in Switzerland, the consulting industry, that in fact this is something that a Polish guy would say it's great to work for Helbring because they represent this great Swiss industry. Is this something that also you, Shimon, something that you can actually sell? And I know your answer probably, but. And I know nobody knows about this, but it's something I always say it's true. It's actually the quality of the work that these guys will be working on is probably slightly better than what you would have in Germany, to be a bit provocative.
I can say from the perspective of the employee in Poland working for a Swiss company, because I had this great experience. And as I said previously, Switzerland is seen in Poland as the most developed country in the world, one of the most developed countries in the world, and to work for Swiss employer, that's a really big benefit. So all the companies which considering entering Poland and utilize Polish talent, for sure should emphasize the Swissness. So and the Swissness is seen as like technology advancement, politeness, the respect toward each other. So like really high quality precision and high tech. So when you enter Poland, when you operate in Poland, to say that you're Swiss, to advertise your Swissness, that's the first thing to do. And Poland and Polish employees recognize this. So they do recognize the difference between working for Swiss company and for some other company from another place. And so this is one. And second, Polish employers also provide the best growth opportunities and the opportunity to work with the latest technologies. And that's a big advantage as well, especially in the IT world. Switzerland is extremely advanced. If you compare Switzerland and the work, even the office work in Switzerland to the work in other Western European countries, the processes are way ahead. The level of automation, the level of amount of technology use is much more than some other Western European countries. So it's really fun to work for Swiss companies because you can learn the latest technologies and it's abundance of technology. So that's something to emphasize as well.
I think here we're talking about employer branding, and this is not to be underestimated because if you're in Poland, but also other locations, I think, yeah, you just compete for the resources which are locally available. I think in our case, what has been playing more is a couple of factors in the employer brand. First of all, the product. So you're working for a company that makes chocolate. Chocolate is sexy. It always makes a smile for people. In all the fridges we have in which it's like free chocolate into the fridges. So that played. The fact that you're an international company, and I don't want to step on sort of toes, but Switzerland, yes, we are headquartered in Switzerland, but it's more the international size of the company, the opportunities you have outside of Poland to actually grow also as a Polish person. Size of the company, because let's not forget that people expect to grow in Poland. They expect to grow the ladder. They expect to grow from, for instance, the more repetitive tasks into more value-adding activities. For that, you need to have a certain size. So if you come in with a certain size, and that aspect of ability to make the people develop. So that has been for us more the let's say the arguments we have been using into the employer branding. And that brings me to another topic that I think we have been discussing a little bit this evening is if for factors and considerations we have discussed this evening, you consider to explore nearshore and then Poland as nearshore. I would say dare to start. Dare to start. It's like a Barricalboat at the time. We dared to start. Okay, we started with 50 people. We knew it was small, at least for our size, it was small. Dare to start. But at the same time, what I would also like to say is that if you do it captive, in our view, you need to have a certain size. Because being present in Poland, it also comes with, you need to have financial structure, you need to have HR structure, you need to have your employer branding out of Poland. So if you don't have a certain size, I think you then rather go for, and that's what you're trying to sell, to not doing it captive, but actually leverage a party out there that can help you in doing it. Because if you don't have a certain size, I think it becomes damned difficult. Also, by the way, employer branding, for all the reasons that I've said. So employer branding becomes damned difficult. The overhead you have in HR, in finance, and employer branding, you need to have a certain size. If you don't have that, I think you better go to guys like yours to help you in establishing it.
Maybe if I can say something additionally here. In my old role as head of Europe with Kotlin at Switzerland Global Enterprise, we realized that we once did a study in Poland about the Swiss companies that were present in Poland. They all start somehow as a nearshore, but then they enter into their normal business. So I wouldn't be surprised if Helbring would, some of them, but then you correct me. I thought that it was pretty clear that many of those companies, but I might be really wrong. I thought most of those companies we realized are actually then moving into, also using Poland and the region as a domestic market. And that is another good reason to go to Poland, because Poland is the most vibrant market in the region. And you can actually hope for to also profit in your normal business, which is a normal step as soon as you have established your whole organization with your overheads just for your nearshoring. Then you think, well, maybe I can sell more chocolate. Or I know you don't sell your chocolate, but it's a bad example. But for helping to do local business, I know.
In our case, the chocolate was first, and then later on we moved with the shed services.
Okay.
So let's finish so we can chat more individually one-to-one. We've got some small dinner coming, I think, right, later on, and drinks as well. So thank you all very much. Thank you all as a panelist. I really appreciate you having a round of applause. And you're going to send these out to everyone by PDF, I guess, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and there are, of course, copies around. Thank you all very, very much. Thank you. Thank you. I think that went well. Yeah. Yes.
Bitte.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hallo, schön, Sie mal persönlich zu sehen.
Ja, ebenso,
Nach all
danke.
diese 2D-Bilder.
Ja, aber wir haben wir haben die Visite in Zürich stattgefunden, nicht? Nein, nur
Yes.
aber früh, da sind 40 Betriebe davor.
Nein, also Alexander mitgebracht. Sie hat einfach diese Liebe